Guys, just about maybe 5 seconds ago, I just got done watching Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. And who boy, my boy James was right about these final 3 episodes, 6, 7, and 8. We are absolutely popping off with these episodes. I am so incredibly impressed. I feel bad for any criticisms I've given past episodes. Granted, I do still think that those criticisms do stand. I think that they are still very fair. However, being where we are at now, I can see what the end goal is. I can see that us spinning our wheels in earlier episodes was only building. So that way we, when we're watching these emotional moments in this episode and obviously the next episode, it's going to hit that much harder. There are some insane reveals in this episode. The action, holy cow. This is the best action in the whole, maybe the whole show in general so far. There is an intense action scene. Not to mention comedy-wise, the first 2 minutes is incredibly funny. So if you guys are thinking to yourselves, man, it's so dumb. How did Chris not realize that this was the Nazi dimension? They do point it out. They do point out how he's very dumb for not noticing, because there's copies of Mein Kampf on every desk. There's this massive mural of Hitler on the wall. It's so funny. I absolutely love that. Yeah, honestly, negative wise, I don't really have any. If I were to really nitpick, if I were to pick something that, yeah, some people are going to have an issue with, I personally did not, is yes, it is a little on the nose in terms of its political point of view. And what I mean by that is they compare the Nazi dimension to the real, their home dimension, and they're like, oh, it's not all that different in terms of, political powers and all that. And yeah, is it on the nose? A little, but you know what? It comes up in a good conversation between Adebayo and Judo Master. And the main thing that matters in topics like that is that it feels natural. Like, is this something that this character would actually talk about, or is it the writers trying to convey something to me? And this felt like something that the character of Adebayo would talk about. So personally, I don't care. I think that's perfectly fine. And hey, she ain't wrong. So yeah, anyway, guys, before we go into the breakdown, my big review for this one, this is a 10. This is another 10 out of 10. I think I gave the last episode a 10 out of 10. We're continuing with it right here. It is keeping up the same energy, but we're adding action. We're adding a little bit more comedy. We're adding intense emotional scenes, and I am absolutely loving it, guys. Go check it out. Spoiler warning for the next section. I'm going to be going through all of it. 3, 2, 1. Guys, welcome to the spoiler warning. Or welcome to the spoiler section, I guess. So yeah, we start off essentially at the end of the last episode. Harcourt is basically just pointing out how stupid Chris is for not noticing that it's just full of Nazi memorabilia. There's not a single colored person anywhere, which is just absolutely insane. So then we have, Nazi Harcourt try to get, our Harcourt killed. So Chris and Harcourt make their way out. They go on the run. In the meantime, Keith is still chasing Adebayo because remember in the last episode, he was like, there's a black. And then he started chasing her. Very intense scene. Somehow, Adebayo gets away. Hot damn. Yo, white people are slow as hell. Hot damn. Like, they were right up on her ass. Yeah, she was playing some track and field there. But she gets away. Judo Master ends up helping her out, so they kind of hide out in a house for a bit. Keith gets called back by their dad to talk about the situation at hand. And at this point, we slowly start to see Keith's character just absolutely unraveling because his dad essentially tells him, hey, Chris is dead. The Chris you were just talking to, is the Chris from an alternate dimension. Keith starts flipping out, dude. Then we go to the scene where essentially the Blue Dragon and Keith, they show up to kind of save Chris and Harcourt, but they kind of just want to clean up the mess so that way they don't get in trouble for having this interdimensional door rift thing. They bring him back to the house. Now everyone is in the house except for Adebayo, Vigilante, and Judo Master. So this is where we get a massive reveal. So he essentially gives Chris a chance to talk about what happened. The dad is actually 100% on Chris's side. He's like, I understand it was an accident. You're actually all good. And we find out that this version of Chris's father is not a Nazi. Dude, I was so blown away by this. It was just so insane. Like, just the fact that, like, you see he has so much compassion in his voice while he's telling Chris it's okay. Oh my word. You need to see it to feel the emotions. I'm not even going to try to convey them to you. But essentially we have this beautiful moment where his father is saying how, like, oh, he hates the term Nazi, and he's trying to put up the good fight, and he was saying how, yeah, he met his alternate version in Chris's first dimension, and how he didn't like the version of himself because he was darker and evil. And oh my word, it's so good. It's so good. But obviously Keith is like full on Nazi, which, you know what? I didn't mention this in the last episode, but I was making a point in my head, I guess, where in the first season, we see Keith and Chris interacting as kids. And then we see Keith doing like a rock thing. And then Chris is like, whoa, wait, doesn't that mean white power? And then Keith was like, yo, screw white power. This is rock and roll. So my thing was like, oh, how is he a Nazi? But it makes sense because everyone's opposite. So it makes sense that Keith would be like mega white power shit in this one. So that's just something I thought I would point out. And then we have such a sad scene, but oh my word. Vigilante comes busting through the window, just starts stabbing Chris's dad in the neck. So Augie's he's dead. The good Augie's dead. And oh my word. Like it's you can't get mad at him because it's like, because he even says, he's like, well, Economos was tied up to a chair, and were you guys not in trouble? So it's like, oh my word. But yeah, then they have this amazing fight. Keith and Chris just go absolutely all out. Well, Keith goes all out on Chris. Chris just can't do anything because he's just completely... he's having like a panic attack over the whole situation. He starts having flashbacks to when he accidentally killed his brother, again from the first season in those flashbacks. And we have this intense moment where everyone is just murdering Keith. And then Chris is just screaming for them to stop. And we have this intense moment where he's apologizing. They all run through the door. Harcourt is about to kill him. She does not have the time for it. So Keith is being essentially revived. He's put in the little time chamber from Dragon Ball. And then, that's about it. And then we get, I guess, the final thing is Chris hands over the little dimensional portal thing to Argus. Then he goes to jail. Then we do get a little preview for the next episode. Just essentially him being interrogated. And I guess they're going from dimension to dimension and like seeing like what else is out there, which is super dope. I'm super down for that. I wish this season had another like 3 episodes, because now I want to go through all the other doors. I want to see what all the other doors have, I really want to see what's out there. Guys, this was such an amazing episode. I absolutely loved it. There's just not too much to talk about with this one, so this is a bit of a shorter one. It's really good. Everything that the last episode was doing, it's doing better here. If anything, I feel bad for giving that one a 10 because I feel like this one was better. But I'm not going to take it back because last episode was really great too. And I'm really pumped to see how it's going to keep moving forward. Apparently, the episode 8 is one of the most fun things James Gunn has ever directed. And it also is literally a prequel to Superman Man of Tomorrow. So my guess, my little guesstimate here is I don't know, Brainiac is gonna come through one of the portals or something. I don't know. I am incredibly pumped for it. I am just so excited with all of this. So guys, let me know, what did you think about episode 7? Let me know in the comments down below, and I should be seeing you guys next week for the big finale, baby. Let's go. I'll see you then.